Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hey everyone, we are from Group A. Members Anis Dawati and Nur Aziza. We will presentation about long vowels, diphthongs, and triphthongs.
English long vowels. In this chapter, we look at other types of English vowel sound. The first to be introduced here are the 5 long vowels. These are the vowels which tend to be longer than the short vowels in similar contexts. It is necessary to say in similar contexts because, as we shall see later, the length of all English vowel sounds varies very much according to their context, such as the type of sound that follows them, and the presence or absence of stress. To remind you that these vowels tend to be long, the symbols consist of one vowel symbol plus a like mark made of the dots. Thus we have I, E, A, O, U. We will now look at each of these long vowels individually. The 5 long vowels are different from the 6 short vowels described in chapter 2, not only in length but also in quality. If we compare some similar pairs of long and short vowels, for example, A with I, or U with us, or I with at, we can see distinct differences in quality, resulting from differences in tongue shape and position, only position, as well as in length. For this reason, all the long vowels have symbols which are different from those of short vowels. You can see that the long and short vowel symbols would still all be different from each other even if we omit the landmark. So it is important to remember that the landmark is used not because it is essential, but because it helps learners to remember the like difference. E. Example words. Feet mean peace. This vowel is nearer to cardinal vowel number 1. It is closer and more firm. Then is the short vowel of feet, pin, fish described in chapter 2, although the tongue shape is not much different from cardinal vowel number 1. The lips are only slightly spread and this results in a rather different vowel quality. Example words. Bird, fern, first. This is a mid-central vowel which is used in most English accents, a hesitation sound, written but which many learners find difficult to copy. The lip position is neutral. Example word card, half, pass. This is an open vowel in the region of cardinal vowel number 5. But not as big as this. The lip position is neutral. Example words, bird, throne, horse. The tongue height for this vowel is between cardinal vowel number 6 and number 7 O and closer to the letter. This vowel is almost fully baked and has quite strong lip rounding. U. Example words, foot, soon, loose. The nearest cardinal vowel to this is number 8. But BBC U is much less back and less close, while the lips are only moderately rounded. Diphthongs. BBC pronunciation has a large number of diphthongs, sounds which consist of a movement of glide from one vowel to another. A vowel which remains constant and doesn't glide is called pure vowel. In terms of length, diphthongs are similar to the long vowel described above. Perhaps the most important thing to remember about all the diphthongs is that the first part is much longer and stronger than the second part. For example, most of the diphthong at, as in the word A, E, consists of the vowel and only in about the last quarter of the diphthong does the glide to I become noticeable. As the glide to happens, the loudness of the sound decreases. As a result, the one part is shorter and quieter. When learners should, therefore, always remember that the last part of English diphthongs must not be made too strongly. The centering diphthongs glide towards the square vowel as the symbols indicate. Ear.
Example words: beard, wait, fierce. The starting point is a little closer than E in pit, pin. Ea. Example words: ired, cane, scarce. This diphthong begins with a vowel sound that is more open than the A of cat, man. Your. Example words: molded, tour, lure. Five speakers who have this diphthong, this has a starting point similar to U in foot, pull. Many speakers pronounce it instead. The closing diphthongs have the characteristic that they all end with a clit towards a closer vowel. Because the second part of the diphthong is weak, they often do not reach a position that could be called close. The important thing is that a clit from a relatively more open towards a relatively closer vowel is produced. Three of the diphthongs clit towards E are described below. A. Example words: paid, pain, face. The starting point is the same as of the A of cat, man. I. Example words: void, loin, voice. The first part of this diphthong is likely more open than in outborn. A. Example words: tide, time, nice. This diphthong begins with open vowel which is between front and back. It is quite similar to the A of the word cat, ban.
Two diphthongs glide towards you, so that as the tongue moves closer to the roof of the mouth, there is at the same time a rounding movement of the lips. This movement is not a large one, again because the second part of the diphthong is weak. Ew, example words like load, home, and mouse. The vowel position for the beginning of this is the same as for the swap vowel A. As found in the first syllable of the word about, the lips may be slightly rounded in anticipation of the glide toward O, for which there is a quiet noticeable lip rounding. Look at the picture. O, example words like loud, calm, and house. This diphthong begins with a vowel similar to O. Since this is an open vowel, the A glide to U would necessitate a large movement, and the tongue often does not reach the U position. There is only slight lip rounding. Next is triphthongs. The most complex English sounds of the vowel type are the triphthongs. They can be rather difficult to pronounce and very difficult to recognize. A triphthong is a glide from one vowel to another and then a third, all produced repeatedly and without interruption. For example, a careful pronunciation of the word hour begins with a vowel quality similar to A. Press on the A, glide toward the back close rounded area. We use the symbol vowels to represent the pronunciation of our, but this is not always an accurate representation of the pronunciation. The triphthongs can be looked on as being composed of the 5 closing diphthongs described in the last section, with an E added on the end. Thus we get air plus E to be ear, II plus E to be air, I plus E to be seer, EU plus E to be ear, AU plus E to be AU. The principal cause of difficulty for the foreign learner is that in present-day English, the extent of the vowel movement is very small, except in very careful pronunciation. Because of this, the middle of the 3 vowel qualities of the triphthongs, For example, like the I or U part can hardly be heard, and the resulting sound is difficult to distinguish from some of the diphthongs and long vowels. To add to the difficulty, there is also the problem of whether a triphthong is felt to contain one or two syllables. Words such as fire or hours are probably felt the most English speakers, with BBC pronunciation to consist of only one syllable, whereas player or flower are more likely to be heard as two syllables. We will not go through a detailed description of each triphthong. This is partly because there is so much variation in the amount of vowel movement according to how slow and careful the pronunciation is, and also because the careful of pronunciation can be found by looking at the description of the corresponding diphthong and adding E to the end. However, to help identify these triphthongs, some example words are given here. Air like layer, player. Air like liar and fire. Seer like liar, royal. Air like lower, mower. Air like power and hour.
이따 두시 거기서 우리 다시 만나자.